Welcome to another episode of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have is the Itto-Ryu Hammered Shirogami or White No. 2 Petty 105mm knife. So the way these are made is they've got three layers in the construction. The center hard cutting edge steel, the core steel is what's known as Shirogami or white paper No. 2, reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats typically around 61-ish Rockwell for that. And the cladding is soft stainless cladding that does wrap around the spine, and that cladding has a lot of interesting features to it. It has some kind of regularly spaced hammering marks, and it also has kind of a nishiji, what's called kind of a pear skin type finish on top of that. And then they've got kind of a sandblasted finish to the blade grind, and then you can see the polish there is the core steel peeking out from the bottom. It's a very, very nice aesthetic on this knife. A lot going on. Really cool looking. The weight and dimensions on these will vary just a little bit from knife to knife, but this particular one is 52 grams or 1.8 ounces. The edge length is right about 105 millimeters or about 4 inches. The overall length about 220 millimeters. And the spine thickness, fairly stout, but they've got pretty good performance grind on these. The thickness at the back here was about 2.8 millimeters, and I measured about 2.0 down about the middle, and then not a lot of taper on thickness of the spine, but you can see it tapers up. It's a pretty generous grind here. It comes all the way up to there on both sides, so you kind of thin that tip out pretty nicely. So nice thin tip on these. You can see a lot of polish on the spine. Really nice fit and finish on these. This is a short blade, but we can get this here. There's your choil shot. So nice grinds on these. Pretty stiff, as you might imagine. Quite thin at the tip. Let's see. Blade height is about 26 millimeters to the back. Not particularly tall, but it's a small knife. Handle is a D-shaped chestnut, what they call chestnut, with a black plastic or resin ferrule that slips over the top. And then they've done a little bit of kind of feathering that edge down into the plastic, so it's not a sharp corner right there. You'll definitely feel a jump or a step, but it's not objectionable at all. You'll want to take some kind of sealer where the tang goes into the handle. There's some gaps there. You'll want to seal that up with something to keep moisture out of there. Pretty easy to do that. The balance point is going to be handle heavy because it's such a small blade. So balance point you can see is just about at the end of the handle. And what else here? Oh, let's get our, we never did get our beauty shot here. We got to do that for the video. And we'll go with that. So we do have, looks to be chiseled, hand chiseled or engraved kanji right there. And again, it's a really nicely finished knife. They've got some attention to detail here. You've got those hammer marks. You've got the nishiji or pear skin finish on top of that. You've got the sandblast finish here, and then the blade road or the line of demarc between the core and the cladding is really nice looking. And then that little shiny end down there, that's your edge bevel. I'd say this was about a 6 out of 10 on my sharpness scale out of the box. Pretty sharp. This steel will get very, very sharp, pretty much as sharp as your skills allow. Here's the cutting board profile. It's actually a cool little profile. It's like a mini kind of gyuto kind of profile. So you got a little bit of flat in the back half, and you can get pretty high. If you want to rock over some small stuff, do it. You can do it with this. So this will have a little bit of clearance for your fingers, although with these types of knives, if you want to do some board work, one trick is just move off the edge of the board or the edge of the countertop. If your cutting board's not very tall, if it's a very flat mat or something, just move near the edge of your countertop. Stuff might go on the floor, but you've got clearance for your fingers if you need that. So anyway, these are very nice looking knives. They're well made, great steel, and just a neat little package. So this is the Itto-Ryu Hammered Shirogami No. 2 Petty 105mm knife.